Just say my name. My name is Deja Brown, and you're listening to the Open Mic Podcast. Pop podcast.
Podcast. Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah. Oh snap. Leave your hands. Oh no, no more trouble. Oh yeah. Yeah. Let me back this thing up real quick. One more time. Oh, that's a problem. Oh yeah. What's going on, everybody? And welcome to another exciting episode of the Open Mic Radio Podcast. Podcast. Yeah. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another exciting episode of Open Mic Radio Podcast. I'm your host, Mike B. And it's my man Infrared Crypto on the beat. And yes, I took a hiatus, y'all. I took a little break, took a little mental hiatus. Had to take a break real quick, get my mind and thoughts together. We'll get into it a little bit. If you've been an avid listener to my radio podcast, you know every now and then I take a break because of my mental health. Mental health is wealth. Mental health is important. I'm very transparent when it comes to it. And yeah. So I was a little depressed. We're gonna talk about that in a minute. Also, I'm gonna talk about some other stuff about sassy songs. I've been feeling a little sassy on the beat. A little sassy. Talk about some of my new proclamations. New year, new me. Going through some changes in my life, you know. So, without any further ado, we're just gonna hop right into it. Also, I'm not going front, yo. I got a dual monitor setup now. In my office, so I have two monitors now, so I could do double the work. I feel like I'm working for the government, yo. I got two monitors. That means that means I make big money. I don't. It's a very simple setup. I did a very simple setup. Now I have two monitors. I can see what's going on. I can see what's hot. Working on the lighting situation. It might be coming in a little too dark or whatever. We'll figure that out as well as we go along. But I'm gonna be more consistent on the podcast. I'm gonna be recording a little bit more because consistency brings people, and people brings fame, and whatever. I'm trying to make up a scenario or what you call it, whatever they said. Whatnot and what have you or whatever. But let's just hop right into it, yo. I'm gonna turn this down. I'm gonna turn me up. Yeah, thank y'all real quick. And first of all, I appreciate everybody, man. I appreciate anybody that listens to this podcast. Anybody that takes a few minutes out of their day, out of their life to listen to me ramble and stumble upon subjects and topics and things of that nature, man. Uh let's just hop right into it, yo. So last couple of weeks I've been depressed. Okay. I've been depressed. Mentally I've been out of it. And the reason why I've been out of it, well, let's rewind. Go through some changes in my life, and as I go through changes in life, you reflect, and I was reflecting on some stuff. And what happened was there was an incident that happened a couple of weeks ago. And one thing about depression is you should know what your triggers are. I've been battling depression for years now. I've been battling depression for years. Everybody goes through it. Um, it's okay to say something. If you see something, say something. It's really important to have friends in your corner who see you going through stuff and you know wish well on your behalf. Um, I learned a lot over this bout of depression because one thing you one this particular bout of depression happened because I felt like I'm putting a lot of work in, and putting a lot of work in, I'm not one that's like, yo, I need you to make a banner and say thank you. But I do expect a level of appreciation, if that makes sense. Like I don't expect flowers. I don't expect you to make a post or anything. I just expect appreciation, gratitude, you know. I sacrifice a lot on behalf of the scene. I sacrifice a lot to make sure that everybody's in a position to win. I believe it's something that's deep down rooted in me since school, playing ball, being a point guard. A lot of times your assist in basketball is a statistical category that only helps when the person you're passing the ball to scores the basket. And I can't get that out of my life. Like I'm not I was never a scorer. I was never a person that was like, I'm gonna get my buckets, and I'm literally there to set you up, set the team up, and let's just score these baskets. Let's go for the win. I'm gonna pass you the ball, get us to the promised land. And that metaphor goes into where I'm at now in comedy. You know, where I'm at now mentally in the position that I'm in. I am a booker of a comedy club, and I have the ability to book myself at any moment. I can book myself on any show. I can put myself on any show. I can host feature any show. And when I say these things, I'm good at what I do. Okay. So so I don't have to. Um, but I'm also in the position to put people to recognize people who deserve those chances. I'm in a position to give back, and I've always reached back, and I always gave flowers to those who helped me along the way, who wasn't being jerks to me, being a jerk to me, who wasn't being rude to me, who wasn't, in the process. The issue is, right? A couple of weeks ago, I gave an assist to somebody, and it was like leading up to the weekend. It was just a problem after a problem after a problem after a problem. And in comedy, there's egos, and sometimes the ego is going to win every time. And I felt like the person that I was looking out for did not appreciate the lookout, did not appreciate the flowers, you know, and it put me in depression. It put me in a depressed state because for me, a person who still has it, a person who's still funny, a person who doesn't have to, did. And it made me ask myself, am I doing right by me? And it's a weird concept when you ask, are you doing right by me? Because in my mind, I'm still wrapping around, am I also being selfish? And I don't want to come off as being selfish. Um, so when this person didn't appreciate the opportunity, it put me in a depressed state because I felt like I didn't have to, and I did. And because I did, and you felt like it was wrong, now I felt like I did something wrong, which causes me to fall into this state. So I was depressed the last couple of weeks. I didn't realize it at first, but depression always, for me, my depression logs in, and chime in if you will. My depression starts off with, I don't feel like getting up. I don't feel like waking up to do basic things. I don't feel like washing my face. I don't feel like brushing my teeth. I don't feel like doing things. And it's easy because I work from home, so I don't have to get up to go and do, get up in the morning and rush. Backstory: when I was battling it and I wasn't diagnosed with it, I would call out for work days at a time. It would be like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I'm out. I can't. I ain't even if I had a PTO, I'll make it the hours. I just cannot physically be in there. I don't want to. And that's where depression comes in and says, I got you. And now I'm gonna throw these thoughts in. And when I didn't know how to handle those thoughts. So when I'm in this state, if you're talking to me, it's not me, it's me like revealing feelings. And feelings don't last all the time, but also when you're talking, however you're saying it, later on when you're better, might come back to bite you. So I would say mean things. Um, so it's best for me not to talk. Um, so I didn't want to get up. That was one of the signs. I didn't want to record the podcast, which is another one of the signs. I didn't want to perform. I also didn't want to do the regular duties that I was normally doing to get out of it, to get out of that funk. I got into comedy, so I didn't have to feel like I had a real job. But what I was doing was turning into a job, and it was like, I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to keep helping people. I don't want to help young. I didn't want to do any of those things because that weekend fucked with me. It really bothered me. It really bothered me, and I didn't understand why. So I had some friends that I was talking to, and they're like, man, you just gotta get on stage. And I told myself, like, yo, I got to get back on stage because no matter what, DMX had a quote, I do not like perform. I do not like the studio time. I do not like the promo time. I only like the hour and a half I'm on stage. And that resonated with me because when I perform outside of my workplace, I have so much fun. I'm so much more freer. I don't have to worry about all the chaos that's going on around me. I'm just getting on the stage. I'm only worrying about entertaining how many people is in the audience at the moment. So I started going back on stage and I started to, do my bits, do my jokes, do my do me. And I'm having a great time. I'm back to writing. I was back to getting back into having fun again about comedy. Other things, the most dangerous thing for me too is because I'm laying around when I'm depressed and I see on social media is dangerous too. You see on social media, everybody else is still living their best life. You start nitpicking and seeing things and like, I don't like how this looks. I don't. Well, how come? Why not me? That these are signs of me being bitter, and I'm not a bitter person. I want everybody to win. I believe anybody in the scene. If one person makes it, everybody in the scene makes it because all that's going to do is draw eyes to the scene. I believe that wholeheartedly. Uh, I don't care who makes it. I just know when that person makes it, I have to be ready, right? So I start seeing those things. I started getting angrier, start getting antsy. You start looking back like, yo, I did all of this for people, and in return, I got nothing. I have nothing to show for it. But a friend reminded me, you do have something to show for it, Mike. Just look at what you've done. Look at what you've done for the scene. Look at step outside of yourself. What I tell myself all the time when I'm in the clear head, look at what you've done. Look what you put. Look who you put on. If you wasn't here, how would they? And that boy, my spirit's up, but it didn't change anything. It still made me feel exactly the same. You get what I'm saying? Like it still made me feel exactly the same. It was like, that's cool and all, but that could have been me. But that's depression talking. That's me like upset. I get back on stage. I'm performing. I'm realizing I not only do I still have it, I got a lot of it. And it also made me realize I'm in a different stage in my life as an artist because the stuff that I talk about is like grown folk stuff now. It's from a older gentleman's perspective, and I'm really happy about the new material that I've been working on and creating, and keep moving. At the end of the day, from this bout, what I've learned is it's okay to put yourself first. It's okay to look out for yourself. It's okay to look out for your friends, look out for people that you believe in, but it's also okay to look out for you. You looking out for you doesn't mean that you're not looking out for everybody else. And I will say that if you have a friend or a buddy or a pal who vocalizes that they're depressed, it is the year of 2023. Mental health is a real thing. Do not tell that person that what you're not going to do. All that person needs is an ear. He just needs an ear. He or she needs an ear, and just needs somebody to talk to. If that person is always there for you, it costs you nothing to be there for them. If this person is your friend, It costs you nothing to be there for them. It costs you nothing to listen to them. It does not, it does not hurt you. You know, it's not babysitting to listen to somebody. It's not coddling if you listen to somebody. At the time, when back in the day, or wherever you at mentally, or where you at in your life, mental health people thinks is, people thought you need to be babied or carried or loved on, like, you know what I'm saying. If that's how you come across, then you have to look, if that's what you think mental health is, then you should really do some research on the severity of it. Instead, you could just say, hey man, I don't have the mental capacity to handle what's going on, and it's fine to say that. It's like, okay, cool, man, hey, look, listen, I get it, but I know now. I've talked to several people. I found out where everybody is at when it comes to depression, mentally. Well, being a person to talk to when you're depressed, I learned that, hey, it's okay to sit in your feelings. It's okay to sit in them thoughts. It's okay to sit in them and deal with them internally. And then while you deal with them internally, figure out who's who and what's what. And that's what this bout was. I found out who's who and what's what. I was able to look and look at the landscape in my environment. Like, all right, cool. I know where everybody's at, and it's not a problem. I don't want nobody to listen to this podcast like, oh man, he's talking about me or whatever, and he's no, nope. I could be whatever, but where I'm at, it's not a problem. It's okay. I'm 42 years old. I'm a grown ass man. I got kids. I have a whole family. I'm not worried about silly stuff. I'm not worried about the fact, because I was young too, and I was young and ignorant, and I thought one thing about mental health, depression, and stuff like that. Like, I'm not here to listen to your shit, you know. But remember, that person's going to get out of it unless they kill themselves. If they kill themselves, then you ain't got to worry about it no more. You got to worry about that no more. But yeah, so recently I was able to. So that was 2 weekends ago. This weekend, I bought my guy Angus Black in at the cellar, and a little backstory. Angus Black, to me, is the guy who, when I was looking to get into comedy in Norfolk, Virginia, he was in the radio. He was on the radio. I reached out to him. This story goes all the way back to MySpace. I reached out to him on MySpace, and I asked him, man, how do you get up a stand-up comedy? I just asked, and took a couple days. He responded like, man, hit as many stages as possible. Reach out to anybody, find out where the open mics are and everything. And that's cool and all in DC, but it wasn't DC, it was Norfolk. And I didn't know what any of those words, where those mics were, or where to do the stand-up at. And he gave me the advice, you know, write all your jokes clean. Don't cut your money short. That's because somebody say, hey, if, I need a clean show, write your jokes clean. Write about clean stuff, and that way you could do churches. And a few years later, I had a few years later, Angus had did a show at my church. After we had that conversation, and I still didn't do stand up yet. And he came and he performed, and he did like 20 minutes in front of a church, in front of our church, and get murdered. Right. And then a few years later, I come back from Iraq, and then I move up to DC, and I started producing shows. And producing shows, I produced my first show, which was called the Let's Go Comedy Show, and it was in Newport News, Virginia, at this venue. It was me and DJ North. Shout out to DJ North too, another Norfolk cap. And I had me, I bought Greg Stevens, my comedy mentor, Tommy Taylor Jr., and I had Angus Black on the show. And it was my very first show ever produced. And I had DJ Joe Pro. I did a lot on this show. I had DJ Joe Pro as a special guest, who I paid just to show up. That's what I'm saying. Like, I did a lot on the show. It was my very first show I produced. We lost a lot of money on the show, but it was lessons were learned. And the next show I did was the Let's Go Comedy Show Volume 2, because back in the day, volumes We did volumes, and Let's Go Comedy Show 2. I brought him up at DC. Where the show was in Alexandria, and so years later, I'm in a position to book a club. Um, I fought to get him down here, and I got him down here. And he did. He just finished doing this weekend yesterday. I'm recording as of Sunday, November 12th. So I'm recording this. He did a weekend yesterday and Friday. And I looked at him and I was like, "Hey man, I never forgot what you did for me on MySpace." And he may not remember that, but what he do remember, but what he do know is being nice to a person, let's say 14 years ago, 15 years ago, 16, 17, 18 years ago, I got him up to DC. And for him, it was a big for him, it was just a weekend. For me, it was a big moment. He was very appreciative of it. And that's what made me happy. Performing and then being able to give flowers to a person who took time out and didn't have to. He didn't have to. He didn't have to talk to me. He didn't have to talk to me when I sent him that message, but he did. And to have him come up and do the weekend, smash, made a few bucks, oversold. Um, the people that didn't want the people that had to go to, that didn't believe, made them believers, and it made me happy. And that's what I'm in it for. I'm in it to help, not to hurt. And it was a big deal for me. Took a picture and everything. I needed that in my life. So that's a tale of two weekends. uh and what I got from that weekend was it's okay. What I got from that weekend is basically you're on the right track. You're on the right track. Don't worry about what's going on in the HOV lanes. Nigga, you in the slow lane. You've been in the slow lane for a minute. You're doing the work and others see it and you just keep working. I got a few compliments from another comic that say, yo, you really turned this place around. Um, and that's because of what the work that you do. And and so with that, it's more of, you know, don't worry about there's people in the background behind the camera that's making the people in front of the camera look good. And I've always said that sometimes I may not be the guy that's gonna be always in front of the camera. But I never, but I've always said I always want to be the guy who's in the VIP section. Like I know who that is. I know who that is. Why the fuck is he in the VIP section? There was three members of Rockefeller. Three. It was Dame Dash, Jay-Z, and Kareem Biggs. No one knows who Kareem Biggs is. I got this poster up here. Oh, you can't see it now. It's Dame Dash, Jay-Z, and Kareem Biggs. Kareem Biggs is the third member of the founders of Rockefeller. Um, and nobody knows who he is, but he was a third member. And unless you saw him in the picture, you wouldn't be able to point him out in the lineup. But it was major, and I've always been comfortable being that. What I'm not comfortable with now through this depression bout is I'm not comfortable playing down my talents to who to enhance others. Like I'm off that. Done with that. Been there, done that. I don't want to be nobody's Robin. I'd rather be a Kareem Biggs, but I don't want to have to um and no one asked me to, by the way. I would just do it because I felt like that's what was needed for the show or needed for that particular time, when in all actuality, me being me is enough. I don't have to play myself down. I don't have to turn myself down. We're gonna turn up. Be who you are, Mike. It's okay to sit in your feelings. It's okay to be depressed. you know. And if you have a friend that's depressed, and he tells you that he's depressed, he or she's depressed, let them be depressed, yo. Help them as much as you can, but don't put them down. If you ain't got nothing nice to say, just be like whatever. And I see everybody. I seen it. So it's cool. We good. We Gucci. I'm back. Um, Here we are. I wanted to one of the ways that I got happy, one of the ways that I was listening to some music, um, listen to some music, and one of my favorite songs is Rich Baby Daddy. I was talking about this on Threads, and Rich Baby Daddy is one of my favorite songs on the Drake album. And I think every guy has a guilty pleasure song they don't want to admit. And I think we all have a little sassiness in us. I I love a good ratchet song. Like me and my daughter sometimes be in the car and I'll play a little Ice Spice. Okay. I'll put a little Ice Spice on the phone on the car radio, and as soon as the song hit, I hear my daughter beside me going off on some Ice Spice. You know what I'm saying? And to her credit, and she's going off on some Ice Spice, I'm chiming in, giving her the same amount of zest. Okay. I'm giving her the same amount of sass. Okay. I'm feeling myself. Okay. In some of this Ice Spice. So Rich Baby Daddy is one of my favorite songs. Okay. Um any song, any ratchet song or any song with some sass to it. I love some good clear instructions. Right. For example, on the hook, it says, bend that ass over, let that coochie breathe. Clear instructions. Clear instructions. Bend that ass over. Okay. Let that coochie breathe. All right. Gotta let that thing breathe. Why are we letting it breathe? Then she goes to the next verse. Shake that ass, hands on your knees. Shaking said hind parts, but hands on your knees. Clearly, she's worried about your back, and clearly, she's asking you to support yourself because you can't. You might go hands free, shaking said ass, but at the same time, she wants you with your hands on your knees so you can go a little longer. I have never clapped cheeks. I never clapped my cheeks. Have never been clapped. I never shook said ass. I've never had to put my hands on my knees. But if I had to, these instructions are clear enough that lets me understand why are we doing said things, right? And then she says, shake that ass for Drake, because this is Drake's song. And now shake that ass for me. So she's saying, shake that ass for Drake, whose song that is, because you've done all of the correct motions. And because I'm giving you these instructions, shake it for her as well. So she's saying, shake it for him and her. That ass should be a him and her ass. It shouldn't just be a him ass. So feel free in the year of 2023 to have a unisex ass, is what I'm gathering from these instructions. And then she repeats herself. Bend that ass over in case somebody just walked in late. Say you're in the party, you walked in late. You're like, oh, this is the Drake song. Where are we at in the song? You say, oh, bend that ass. Oh, okay, I know I need to bend this thing back over. Hey, excuse me, hold my purse. Bend that ass over. And then she now I have to allow my coochie to breathe. Actually, I don't know much about coochie outside of the knowledge that I learned in sex ed and my own personal research in my bedroom. But that it does need to breathe. Fellas, you gotta, if she's wearing pants, leggings, unless she's wearing a skirt, that thing ain't breathing properly. It needs some resuscitation. And you're walking in, and then she's saying, now you don't know where we at, but we're still shaking that ass. Now everybody's shaking that. Everybody at this point, you should know where we at in the song. Shake that ass, put your hands on your knees for support. For support. And then she says, 3 times, hands on your knees, because somebody's not listening. So you got to repeat it 3 times. Rules of 3, and then she's allowing you to say your ass is now unisex because she's shake it for Drake, and then shake it for her and him and her ass, unisex ass. I love this song because when I'm in my car by myself, the beat hits, it makes my body jiggle just a little bit. Not so much Charlamagne the God, but I do give a little jiggle, a little wiggle. Um, Love the song because it brings something out of me. It puts me in a good mood, puts me in a good spirit. When I was depressed for 2 weeks, I'm gonna tell you right now, Sexy Red, Drake's Rich Baby Daddy was on heavy rotation. It put a smile on my face, and one of the reasons why I put a smile on my face is because these are clear, concise, precise instructions on what she's asking for, how to shake the ass, why are we shaking it, let that thing breathe, and it's a unisex ass. So I want to just shout out Drake and Sexy Red for um, writing a song that's not only um, recognizable for its health reasons, for your coochie to breathe, but also is being very supportive of your back, hands on your knees. But but what's concerning about this is we don't know where is the placement, where your hand should be placed at. Should it be directly on the knee because that's putting pressure on the knee, or right above your knee, like around the thigh area? Like where should you place your hands? But she didn't get that far, and then recognizing that we are in the year of 2023, so this ass technically is a unisex ass. Your ass is a unisex ass because we don't know if you're, whatever you're into, but whoever you are into, it's a him and her ass. So you know, I like clear and concise instructions. But I was like, I need more sassy ass songs. So I'm listening to Sexy Red again, and um, we got the song "Where the Hoes At." Again, I'm looking for the hoes. You know, she and as she's asking that, at some point she says it ain't my fault. You know why she's saying it ain't my fault? Because someone said you've asked this question before and you don't know, and they're like, it ain't my fault. I don't know where the hoes are. Had I known where they are, I would have just told y'all to get in my car. But we're looking for the hoes, and like you don't know, and like it ain't my fault. I don't know why I don't know where the hoes are. These hoes are elusive. The hoes are elusive. We never know where the hoes are. I stand by that. That question has tested the test of time, has lasted. It's been years. There's no app, there's no artificial intelligence. Siri nor Alexa know where the hoes are. I know. I've asked. I asked Siri. Siri says she don't know. That's one question she can't answer. Um, we just got to find out. We got to find out where the hoes are. Another song that put happiness in my heart. Like I said, Ice Spice is another sassy song. Has some sassy songs in there, and these are also. I think every man needs to admit at some point that we do listen to music that's geared towards women, but it also makes us feel good as well. Ice Spice makes me feel good. Sexy Red makes me feel good. There's other people that made me feel good over the years that I want to shout out. Trina, um, when Trina dropped in back in the day, you know what I'm saying? Trina had some songs, ain't no stopping it. Like I was rocking with Trina, bongos, bongos. Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion, two baddies coming together, bongos, right? Bongo, 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 bongo. And then Cardi jumps on, she says, eat my ass like a mango. Wow. She cares about your health. She could have said eat it like groceries, but she didn't. Groceries could be anything. But she said eat it like a mango. That's a fruit. That's a fruit. She cares about your body. She cares about your health. She's saying that her booty is healthy. It's like eating a fruit. Have some. Have some. Have some fruit. Have a mango. Uh, there's other songs in here too. I wrote some of them down, but we have to admit as men that at some point that here we go. The baby shake some. The song. Let me turn this down because I don't want to go. The song shake something. Uh, the song shake some. It's a 2 minute song. I like that. It's clear. It's clear. It's to the point. Um, he lets you know. I don't know how to dance, but I can lean. I like that. I don't know how to dance. That's good for a nigga with osteoarthritis. That's me. That's me. I have osteoarthritis. I can't stand there and let you dance on me. But he does make the ghetto chicks put their hands on their knees. Again, another person's caring about supporting you. You need to be supported. Put your hands on your knees. Where we need to do a deep dive. Where do you want these hands at? Do you want the hands directly on the knees? You can't. That's putting pressure on your knee. That's going to cause knee problems. You might have knees like Megan now, but if you keep putting your hands on your knees with all your weight and all your might, shaking that unisex ass, next thing you know, you have knee problems. Now you got knees like Megan's grandma. That's weird. Um, he reminds you that he don't know how to dance, but he does make the ghetto chicks put their hands on their knees. Another sassy song. But then he did a remix with Sexy Red, and she's telling you to go and have sex with something. So it's a remix. How can you not be happy? How can you listen to these songs and not be lit? How can you not listen to these songs and not be excited? Hmm? Hmm? Riddle me that one, Batman. I was as I was listening to music. Music makes me happy. I I got excited the other day because I found the All That theme song, the written by TLC, performed by TLC, and it was the theme song for Nickelodeon's TV show All That used to be on Teen Nick, and I think it's still on too because I think that it's never going to die. And that song took me back to a spot when I was a kid and made me want to be on TV. And like, oh, kids do get on TV, or teenagers do get on TV. I didn't have the resources or the knowledge to learn how to get on there. But and it's a minute long song. It's only like maybe like a few verses, but it's a bop. It's a bop. It takes me to a spot when my grandma was alive and we used to watch it. It's a bop, you know, and it makes me happy, and it made me happy. I had it on loop. Um, heavy rotation, heavy rotation. Another song that got me through, depression. Um, and then um, and then like I said, I started performing and things of that nature. I started performing uh comedy, and it made me happy. So I got some new bits. I got some new bits. I got some, and I'll post some of them eventually. I'm still working on the kinks. I don't want to just throw it out there just yet. But I've been working, man. I had to work on myself. My workout routine is changing because I can no longer do hit exercises anymore because of my knee, and so I had to change up my workout routine. So I'm going through a state of change, and with change comes adjustment, and I'm adjusting to that and adjusting to my schedule. But I promise you, I will never go dark and ghost on y'all. I just needed some time to myself, and I did. Hopefully, y'all understand. Hopefully, I respect that. And thank y'all for listening to this podcast. I'm gonna wrap this up, but thank y'all for listening to this podcast. I'll be back again next week with some more stuff. I might have a guest or two or whatever. But as I always say at the end of my podcast, no matter what time you listen to it, good morning. I love you all, and good night. Appreciate y'all.